So one of my military relocation clients called me up the other day and said, Chris, what is a PPM and how do I use it with my household goods move? Well, a PPM, or personally procured move, is your DITY move. That's where you're moving yourself instead of having the government hire a moving company to move you. So in this video, we're going to go over all the things that you need to know about doing a personally procured move, or PPM, for civilians, military, and how to mix and match your household goods move with a PPM to get a little more money into your pocket. So let's get started. Hey guys, I'm Chris, your real estate problem solver. I'm a real estate agent and investor in the Middle Georgia area, and I spent over 25 years at Robins Air Force Base on the flight line and in the transportation office. So if you have any questions about doing your household goods or your PPM move, just reach out to me. And whether you're coming to Robins Air Force Base or any duty station, if you have a house you need to sell at origin, or you're looking for a house to buy at destination, reach out to me. I've got a full network of real estate agents that I partner with that can help you sell your house at origin and help you find a new house at destination to help your military relocation go as smooth as possible. So let's get into the ins and outs of your PPM or DITY move. So if you've gotten your orders to PCS to your new duty station, your next step is going to be reaching out to the transportation office. Now you've got a combination of PPM, personally procured move, or your household goods move. Now if you're in the continental US, you have the option to do a PPM. If you're a CONUS move, like to Kunsan, Osan, Ramstein, you can also do a PPM. It's just a little bit more difficult. Basically what you're doing is you're mailing packages to yourself. So it still can be done, but it's a little more difficult. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into Military One Source. You're going to click on doing your household goods move, and you're going to go into the DPS system. You probably already know how to do that part. The one little part that tricks people up is when you create a new shipment, you're going to click on household goods move. And then the first question right below that is this a personally procured move? You're going to click yes or no. Yes, it's a personally procured move if you're moving yourself. No, if you're going to have the government move stuff for you. And yes, you can do a combination of the both. Let's say you've got 10,000 pounds of stuff that you need moved to your new duty station. You can have the government move take all the heavy stuff, or you can do a PPM with all the light stuff and you get paid for moving your stuff yourself, or any combination thereof. So you're going to create a household good move. You're going to say no to the personally procured move part, and then you're going to go through and answer all the questions, and that's going to set up your household good move. Then you're going to go back, create another shipment, household goods move. Is this a personally procured move? And you're going to click yes, and then it's going to go through all the questions for a personally procured move. And do this before you leave origin. I repeat, do not wait and do not assume that you're going to get paid for your PPM at destination just because you moved yourself. They're going to want you to set up a personally procured move in the DPS system before you leave origin. Now, a household goods move, usually they want you to have at least 3 weeks heads up. So if you're starting today, your pickup date needs to be farther out than 3 weeks. That gives them time to call the moving companies, they bid on the move, and whoever wins the bidding on your move will contact you. They'll set up to come out and schedule you to be picked up. Personally procured moves aren't that difficult. As long as your transportation office isn't sleeping on the job, they can usually knock out confirmation of your personally procured move in about a day. So all you need to do is just set up the move in there, and it'll go to the transportation office and they'll confirm it. From that point, all you really need to do is make sure that you get your hauling truck, whatever it may be. If you're using your trailer, make sure that you have a registration for the vehicle that you're using and the trailer that you're using, and then you're going to load it up and you're going to go to destination. Now here's another trick that a lot of people don't even realize. Do not spend any money until after you get your orders. It's actually safer to wait until after you load the PPM into the system and you get confirmation. But as long as you don't spend any money until after you get your orders, because in the government's eyes, if you don't have your orders, whether you were told you're PCSing or not, it doesn't exist. If it's not on paper, it doesn't exist. So don't go out and reserve a truck or packing materials or spend any money on your PCS move until you've actually got your orders in hand. I've got a few people that have actually done that, and they ended up eating a couple $100 out of their own pocket that they should have been paid for because they started too early. So the big ticket items that you're going to need for your personally procured move is going to be your weight tickets. You're going to have to weigh the vehicle that you're using empty, then you're going to load it up and you're going to weigh it full. Now, it doesn't matter where you do it. If you're coming from California all the way to Tyndall, anywhere along those lines, you can weigh the vehicle empty, you can weigh the vehicle full, and you're going to keep those tickets. If you're using a trailer, go ahead and weigh the truck and trailer together empty, weigh the truck and trailer together full. Whether you're using a rental truck and a rental trailer or your personal truck and your personal trailer. Now, of course, if you're military, you're going to get paid for mileage and you're going to get paid for the weight that you're moving. Unfortunately, with civilians, you get reimbursed dollar for dollar the expenses that you incur. So if you rent a truck, you're going to get paid back for the base price of that truck. They won't pay for insurance and they won't pay for the taxes, but you'll get reimbursed for the cost of the truck. If you buy any packing materials, you'll get reimbursed for that dollar for dollar. Now, active duty military, you're a whole different ball game. You get paid for the weight and the mileage that you're moving. So you're going to get a printout from DPS of what your estimated payout is going to be based on the weight that you say. Now, if you're doing two different moves, household goods and PPM, you can do any combination of the two. You can do 5 and 5, you can do 2 and 8, it doesn't really matter. And if you think you're going to do a DITY move, PPM, go ahead and put it in the system, even if you don't use it, because if you change your mind, it's there. And it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. If you don't do your PPM move, no harm, no foul. Now, if you decide to rent a rental truck, make sure to keep all the gas tickets. That's an expense. Now, your personal vehicle, they are not going to pay for your gas for your personal vehicle, so don't even think about it. But if you're hauling your vehicle, you've got the rental truck, you've got a dolly, and you're hauling your vehicle, you can use the vehicle as a trailer. No, you cannot expense the weight of the car. But if you put your coolers and your overnight bags and your fishing tackle box and all that stuff in the car, you can treat the car as a trailer and you can weigh the household goods part of that. And that will count towards your household goods weight. Now, of course, all these rules are subject to change, so make sure to verify this with the transportation office, because there again, regulations change and there might be some upgrades that I wasn't aware of. Now, once you get to destination, if by chance you do not have an address or a place to live yet, that's no problem. But one thing you will need to do, and they changed these rules a little while back, contact the transportation office and tell them you're going to need temporary storage. There's no problem going to a local self-storage place and putting your stuff in there, and you'll get reimbursed for the expense of that storage unit. 60 days is typical for civilians, 90 days is typical for active duty military. But you do need to let the transportation office know that you are putting your stuff in storage. If you don't, they may deny those expenses. And then you're going to be stuck forking out that money out of your pocket. And they're probably going to want you to weigh the vehicle or weigh your household goods empty and full as you take stuff out. Because if you put 10,000 pounds in there and then you pull 5,000 pounds out as soon as you get an apartment or something like that, then they're going to need to know how much weight you took out of storage. If you took all of it, just weigh all of it. If you didn't take but half of it, then you're going to need to weigh half of it. But keep those records as you pull stuff out. Unless you pull the entire amount out of that storage unit and shut it down, make sure to get empty and full weight tickets each time you pull a load out. Now, I did have one of my clients call me up and raise all mortal of stuff that they were wanting to know what the address was that they were going to. Now, it doesn't really matter 123 Banana Street, but they do want to know the city that you're going to. Eglin, Maxwell, it doesn't matter. At least give them a zip code that you're going to, because that's how they're calculating the mileage that you're going to get paid for. So don't get upset if they want to know what your address is at destination and you don't have a house yet. By the way, again, if you need a house at your destination, reach out to me and I can get you hooked up with a realtor in that area to help you find your next house. But as long as you have a city or a zip code of where you're going to, that's the main thing that they have to have so they can calculate your mileage. And again, military gets paid for weights and mileages, but civilians, you only get reimbursed dollar for dollar the expenses that you actually incur. And of course, if you're coming to Robins Air Force Base, make sure to reach out to me and I'll help you any way I can to make sure that your next PCS move goes as smooth as possible. And I'll talk to you on the next video.